A man who vanished behind makeup. A city on fire. A film that changed everything. In 2008, The Dark Knight didn't just redefine superheroes, it redefined the actors who gave it life. Some became legends. Some faded. One was gone before it began. 16 years later, where are they now? Christian Bale. He was 34 when The Dark Knight hit theaters and already known for his intense transformations. Audiences watched him starve himself in The Machinist, 2004, then bulk up for Batman Begins, 2005, launching a darker, grittier version of the hero. In The Dark Knight, his performance redefined Batman not just as a fighter, but as a haunted man grappling with identity, fear, and sacrifice. Far from typecast, he used the role's fame to explore even riskier parts. He won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor in The Fighter, 2005, and earned further acclaim in American Hustle, The Big Short, and Vice. In 2022, he crossed into Marvel as Gore in Thor, Love and Thunder. Now 51, he keeps his personal life quiet, aside from a brief 2008 family dispute. While many wore the cape, only one made it feel this real. Heath Ledger. He was born on April 4, 1979, and passed away on January 22, 2008. At just 28 years old, months before The Dark Knight was released. Known for teen hits like 10 Things I Hate About You and his Oscar-nominated role in Brokeback Mountain, he was already respected. But his performance as the Joker, chaotic, magnetic, terrifying, became the stuff of legend. Ledger isolated himself, kept a journal, and fully immersed in the role. Sadly, he died from an accidental prescription overdose during post-production. He was awarded a posthumous Oscar for Best Supporting Actor in 2009. His final project, The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, was completed by friends in tribute. Though his time was brief, the mark he left changed how villains and actors are measured. Few performances come once in a generation. His was one of them. And he wasn't the only one whose life changed forever. Stick with us. Some of these stories might just surprise you. Aaron Eckhart. At 40 years old, he stepped into one of the trilogy's most emotionally complex roles, Harvey Dent, the hero who loses everything. Already acclaimed for sharp, layered performances in the Company of Men and Thank You for Smoking, he brought both integrity and pain to Gotham's fallen White Knight. His transformation into Two-Face wasn't just physical, it embodied the film's moral collapse. The performance remains underrated, but vital. After The Dark Knight, he moved into action-heavy and prestige roles in Olympus, has fallen and Sully, holding his own beside stars like Tom Hanks. Now 57, he stays out of the spotlight, but his dent lives on as the symbol of how easily justice can be broken when grief takes over. 4. Maggie Gyllenhaal. She joined The Dark Knight at 31, stepping into a role already familiar to fans and making it her own. With a background in bold indie films like Secretary and Donnie Darko, she brought intelligence and emotional weight to Rachel Dawes, no longer just Bruce Wayne's love interest, but his moral compass. Her version of Rachel added subtlety and soul, making the loss feel deeply personal. After Gotham, she earned an Oscar nomination for Crazy Heart and a Golden Globe for The Honorable Woman. Then came a new chapter, Behind the Camera. Her directorial debut, The Lost Daughter, 2021, earned international acclaim and multiple award nods. Now 48, she continues to balance art and family life with quiet strength. Married to actor Peter Sarsgaard, she's carved out a career defined by nuance, courage, and creative evolution on both sides of the lens. Have a favorite character so far? Drop their name in the comments. We're reading every one. Cillian Murphy. When he returned briefly as Scarecrow in The Dark Knight, he had already left a haunting impression in Batman Begins. At 32, his presence, though limited in screen time, was unforgettable. Long before Gotham, he led Danny Boyle's 28 Days Later and made waves in Red Eye as a cold-blooded antagonist. That calculated intensity caught Christopher Nolan's eye, launching a long-term collaboration. He became a core part of films like Inception and Dunkirk. And in 2023, delivered a career-defining performance as J. Robert Oppenheimer, earning him a Best Actor Oscar.
Cillian Murphy.
While fame followed, he never chased it. Now 49, he avoids Hollywood's noise, living quietly in Ireland with his family. And though his Scarecrow wasn't the central villain, it helped redefine what fear could look like. Quiet, intelligent, unnerving, a reflection of the actor himself. Subtle, controlled, unforgettable. Gary Oldman. It would be remiss not to mention Gary Oldman, who played Commissioner James Gordon. Born on March 21, 1958, he was 50 when the film was released, and is now 67. Oldman is already an acting legend with countless iconic roles in Dracula, 1992, Leon, The Professional, 1994, The Fifth Element, 1997, and as Sirius Black in the Harry Potter series. Gordon in Nolan's trilogy was one of the few good roles in a career full of complex villains for Oldman. It solidified his versatility and brought him widespread love from the general public. He culminated in the Best Actor Oscar for his portrayal of Winston Churchill in Darkest Hour, 2017. Oldman's Gordon is the embodiment of hope and resilience in Gotham, a pivotal supporting character for Batman, redefining the role of a police commissioner in superhero movies. He struggled with alcoholism in the past, but recovered. Sometimes, it's the quiet ones who carry the story. If you've ever admired a performance that didn't scream for attention, this one's for you. Michael Caine. By the time he became Alfred Pennyworth, he had already lived several cinematic lifetimes. At 75, with 2 Best Supporting Actor Oscars for Hannah and Her Sisters, 1986, and The Cider House Rules, 1999, he didn't need another iconic role, but he gave us one anyway. His Alfred wasn't just a servant or comic relief. He was Bruce Wayne's moral anchor, his emotional mirror, the quiet voice that made the mask human. Across all 3 films, he offered wisdom, heartbreak, and rare vulnerability in a world drowning in violence. His partnership with Christopher Nolan extended far beyond Gotham, with heartfelt turns in Inception, Interstellar, and Tenet. And while the spotlight never dimmed, he chose grace over spectacle. Now, 92, he has officially retired, leaving behind one of the most respected legacies in British acting. Married since 1973 to Shakira Caine, his off-screen loyalty mirrored Alfred's, steady, warm, and unshakable. Morgan Freeman. At 71, his presence in The Dark Knight brought a quiet authority to the chaos. Long before Lucius Fox, he had already become one of cinema's most trusted voices, with unforgettable roles in The Shawshank Redemption, Sessavanen, and an Oscar-winning turn in $1 Million Baby. As Bruce Wayne's tech advisor, he grounded the fantastical with logic and calm. His portrayal of Lucius wasn't about gadgets, it was about ethics, restraint, and human perspective. He became the mind behind the mask, the steadying force in a city falling apart. After Gotham, he continued delivering gravitas in Invictus, earning yet another Oscar nod, and in crowd pleasers like Now You See Me. Though a 2018 harassment allegation briefly stirred controversy, it didn't drastically affect his public standing. Now 88, he remains a cinematic elder, wise, measured, and unforgettable. Some actors project power. He radiates wisdom. And wait till you hear who quietly became one of the most prolific actors in Hollywood. It's coming up. Nestor Carbonell. Among the supporting but important roles is Nestor Carbonell, Mayor Anthony Garcia, born December 1, 1967, now 58 years old. He became familiar to television audiences through the series Lost as Richard Alpert. Although the role of Mayor Garcia was not large, it helped Carbonell appear in one of the most influential films of the decade, opening the door for other important television roles, such as Sheriff Alex Romero in the series Bates Motel, 2013-2017. This small role played an important role in establishing the political context and the fall of Gotham. Carbonell is quite private about his personal life. Stick around because legacy isn't just what you do, it's what remains when you're gone. Eric Roberts. At 52, he stepped back into the spotlight as Sal Maroni, Gotham's calculating mob boss. His screen time was brief, but his presence loomed large, anchoring the city's criminal underworld with a slick kind of menace. Decades earlier, he had flirted with stardom, earning an Oscar nomination for Runaway Train, 1985, and critical praise for The Pope of Greenwich Village. But personal struggles, including battles with substance abuse and legal troubles, pulled his career toward the fringes. The Dark Knight offered a reset. While not a full return to A-list status, it reminded audiences of his power. Since then, he's worked prolifically across indie films and television, becoming one of the most consistently booked character actors in Hollywood. Now 69, he's embraced the grind, resilient, committed, and still delivering. In a film about heroes and legends, he played the kind of villain who doesn't wear makeup but still makes the city bleed. Ending. The cape, the scars, and the laughter all may fade. But the legends created by the cast of The Dark Knight, from their ultimate dedication to their indelible mark on the audience, will live on forever. They are not only a part of cinema history, but also a testament to the transformative power of the seventh art.